Recounts are part of my business. This is what we do. They have it right. It was very close.
Now, Joe Biden has been certified the winner of the election in Dane County, what the county clerk is saying about the recount. And the Packers return to Lambeau against their biggest rivals, highlights from their win over the Bears. Plus, the U.S. adds more than 4 million COVID cases in November, while health experts say the pandemic will still get worse before it gets better.
This is News 3 Now at 10.
President-elect Joe Biden is the official winner of the presidential election in Dane County. The county's board of canvassers certified the results this morning after the 9-day recount. According to the final tally, Biden finished with more than 260,000 votes, while President Trump had fewer than 80,000. Statewide results are expected to be certified on Tuesday. Over the past 9 days, the president's attorneys challenged thousands of ballots, but today's Dane County results show a change in fewer than 150 votes. Gabriella Becerra explains how the Board of Canvassers determined whether or not a ballot should be recounted.
The work is done here at the Monona Terrace after more than a week of recounting ballots. President Donald Trump picked up 45 votes after the Dane County recount, threw out 91 ballots for President-elect Joe Biden and 46 of Trump's.
And I said this from day one, that these numbers were not going to change much at all. And that's exactly what happened.
Dane County Clerk Scott McDonald says common objections related to missing voter and witness signatures and addresses. Those votes weren't recounted.
If a voter made a mistake, the voter forgot to sign it and mailed it in, then that would be a problem.
Missing clerk initials also sparked controversy. The Trump campaign didn't want those ballots counted, but McDonald says clear evidence is needed before disenfranchising a voter.
One thing that we refused to do here was penalize a voter for a clerk error.
On Saturday, President Trump tweeted that his team found many illegal votes and a lawsuit would follow. McDonald says the recount found no evidence of voter fraud in Dane County.
There was no concrete example at all of anything improper.
He knows recounts are a part of his job, but McDonald says this year it just didn't seem necessary.
It was frustrating in the middle of a pandemic where the hospital rooms in Dane County are full, to create potentially more problems with the COVID crisis when you know this was what was going to happen.
The state is expected to certify the county's results on Tuesday. In Madison, Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
The Trump campaign paid $3 million to have votes recounted in Milwaukee and Dane counties. McDonald says Dane County's recount cost about $740,000. The Biden campaign isn't surprised with the recount results in Wisconsin. State Treasurer Sarah Godlewski says voters should understand this was a fair election.
It confirmed what we knew all along. First, that Joe Biden is the next president-elect of the United States. And also that our voting process here in the state of Wisconsin is fair, accurate, transparent, and secure.
Both campaigns gave remarks at the Monona Terrace following the recount, crediting the process for being fair and transparent. We also reached out to the Trump campaign for comment and have not heard back. President Trump called in to Fox News this morning in his first TV interview since the election. The president again made baseless claims that the election was a, quote, fraud and rigged. Fox News anchor Maria Bartiromo eventually stopped the president, saying, quote, "This is disgusting, and we cannot allow America's election to be corrupted." There are new calls tonight from Republican senators for Trump to attend Joe Biden's inauguration in January. Missouri Senator Roy Blunt says the election system was more secure than it's ever been and that he would like to see Trump attend the inaugural ceremony.
I hope the president is there on inaugural day and continuing to work to see what we can do to have the president there and have Vice President Biden there, likely sworn in on that day.
Blunt has refused to acknowledge Biden is the president-elect, but says he is working with the Biden administration on the transition and the inauguration as if, quote, we are moving forward. Meanwhile, Biden announced his senior communications staff today, and it's all women. Deputy Campaign Manager Kate Bedingfield will serve as the White House Communications Director. That position has been vacant in the Trump administration since April. Jen Psaki will be the White House press secretary. Psaki currently oversees the confirmation team for the Biden-Harris transition. Biden spent part of his day at the doctor's office. His physician says he suffered a hairline fracture in his foot after playing with one of his dogs. He says the president-elect will need to use a walking boot for several weeks. Biden's team says he suffered the injury yesterday. Biden was playing with his dog Major, who the family adopted in 2018. Let's get a look at your first warn weather with Dana Fulton. We had some chilly wind today, Dana.
We did. The wind chill becoming a factor this afternoon. That's going to stick with us for tomorrow as our wind speeds will stay high overnight. Right now we're in the teens for sustained wind speeds coming from the north-northwest, about 16 miles per hour in Madison. Those wind gusts, though, really picking up today, close to 30 miles per hour for much of the area. Really wouldn't be surprised if those wind gusts stay close to 30 miles per hour overnight. And for tomorrow, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s for our overnight lows. Doppler track stays quiet for us, and we will be back to mostly sunny skies tomorrow. A little windy, though, and a little colder outside as high temperatures will be in the low 30s. But we will take a closer look at what's ahead with your full 10 day in just a few minutes, Amanda.
Thanks, Dana. Entering tonight, the Packers had not lost back-to-back games under head coach Matt LaFleur, and after tonight, they still haven't. Sports director Zach Hanley joins us now with highlights from Lambeau.
I like that stat. Now, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers facing the Bears on Sunday Night Football, it's not good for Chicago. 4 games, 4 Packer wins, and listen to these stats. 1,068 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. More good news tonight. Mitch Trubisky is starting for the Bears at quarterback. He turned it over 3 times. Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns, 3 in the first half, including this one to Davante Adams. Packers jumped out to a 20-3 lead. And even the defense got into the scoring act. Remember those Trubisky turnovers? Well, one was a fumble, and Preston Smith with the old scoop and score. Packers cruised to 8-3 with a 41-25 win. And coming up later in sports, the Badger women tipped off their season with a win. I'll show you who looked to be in mid-season form on the hardwood. Amanda?
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Zach. Turning to our coronavirus headlines, DHS and county dashboards show an increase of more than 3,800 new cases over the past day. Wisconsin is closing in on 17,000 hospitalizations since the start of the pandemic. 18 more people have died, while 69,000 of the state's 384,000 all-time cases remain active. UW-Madison is reminding any students returning to campus from Thanksgiving break to get tested for the virus before doing any in-person activities. The university recommends getting tested 3 to 5 days after getting back, and then again after 10 to 12 days. Classes restart tomorrow, but the rest of the semester will be online. If students did go home for Thanksgiving break, they're encouraged to not return until next semester. COVID-19 is rampaging across the U.S. as many people travel home after the Thanksgiving holiday. Health officials worry the situation will get worse before it begins to improve. CBS News' Nancy Chen reports from New York.
With daily death tolls rising rapidly, November brought about 1 million new coronavirus cases each week.
We're entering into what's really a precarious situation because we're in the middle of a steep slope.
White House Task Force Coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx says there's also concern recent improvements in the northern plains states will be reversed.
We're entering this post-Thanksgiving surge with 3, 4, and 10 times as much disease across the country. And so that's what worries us the most.
Michigan ranked 3rd in the number of COVID-19 deaths last week, with Detroit hospitals nearing 90% capacity. In Los Angeles County, new stay-at-home restrictions urging people to gather only with members of the same household go into effect Monday. Northern California's Santa Clara County is imposing new measures affecting everyone from the NFL's San Francisco 49ers to local small businesses.
Just trying to make ends meet, and just lowering the amount of people that we can have in here is just kind of seems like it's taken away from how much we can make.
With these new restrictions, we're praying and hoping we don't have to close the doors.
New York City plans to begin reopening public schools for in-person learning next Monday, after shutting them all just over a week ago amid rising infection rates. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
At current rates, roughly 114 Americans test positive for COVID-19 every minute, while 65 Americans die from it every hour. Sunbury police are investigating what they say was a targeted shooting. It happened yesterday afternoon near Main Street and Grand Avenue. Police say 2 cars were shooting at each other. Shell casings were found at that scene. No injuries have been reported. Anyone with information is asked to contact Sunbury police. Members of the Minneapolis City Council are aiming to cut $18 million in police funding from the mayor's 2021 budget. Following George Floyd's death in May, the City Council called for city leaders to change policing in the city. Those calls were eventually rejected, but 3 members are now calling for $8 million of the nearly $200 million allocated to MPD to go toward creating unarmed response teams for non-emergencies.
We had a clear call from residents of this city that they wanted to see transformation. This is about focusing the resources where they are needed, while also unburdening the police department from having to respond to up to 15% of the calls right now that really fall outside of what their purview is.
The new proposal also includes a dedicated staff to respond to mental health crises and a reduction of more than 100 officers. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says he would have concerns if the council attempts to make permanent cuts without community input to support the decision. A Minnesota police officer is out of the hospital after being shot in an ambush. Police in Albert Lea, about 60 miles west of Rochester, say an officer responded to a report of shots fired early this morning. On arrival, investigators say the officer was shot but able to escape and drive to an emergency room. The officer was treated and released. 2 other men at the scene were also taken to the hospital. A Star Wars icon has passed away. Actor David Prouse, who played Darth Vader in the original trilogy, has died. Prouse's management company confirmed his death on Twitter, saying it has brought heart-wrenching sadness to fans around the world. The actor wore the infamous black suit and helmet to play the Dark Lord of the Sith, while James Earl Jones was the voice of Vader. Prouse was 85 years old. There's more on News 3 Now tonight. Dana has your first warn forecast, plus how a nonprofit in our area is trying to reach at-risk kids through the game of golf. Stay with us.
With Herzing University's Everywhere Classroom, you can earn a degree in today's hottest fields online. For a limited time, we'll waive your enrollment fee. See what your career can turn into. I'm possible at Herzing. Call or click today.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
We have a guest room now.
But we have ants.
You're slouching again, Ted. Expired. Expired. Expired.
Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
It's a lot of house. I hope you can keep it clean.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save a lot of money.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request?
I'll have to check.
Aunt Joni's here.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Dear Wallet, Toyota Black Friday is revving up. Packing the tech, packing the style, packing the safety, and packing the deals. The best part about Toyota Black Friday, you can get it all to go in one sleek package. Yours, Toyota. Get 1.9% APR for 60 months plus $500 APR bonus cash on a new 2021 RAV4. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Spread holiday cheer and save more than ever at the Century House. Right now, give $50 or more to charity and get $400 off stressless Mayfair recliners in all Paloma leather colors and $300 off most other stressless recliners. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. 'Tis the season to give a little and save big on stressless furniture. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Hey guys, listen up! This coronavirus thing has lasted forever. If we're gonna get back out there, we need to work together. We've got to take care of ourselves. So wear your mask, wash your hands, get your flu shot, social distance. The sooner we all do it, the sooner we can get back to the important stuff, like playing. Unity Point Health Meritor, a partner of UW Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
To the thousands of Herzing University nursing and healthcare alumni, for your tireless commitment, and to all of your brave colleagues across America, we say thank you.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Monday morning, if you find yourself getting upset every time you log on to social media, Consumer Reports has some advice. And experts say more online shopping this year means more opportunities for your data to get stolen. How to protect yourself, Monday.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Food lines stretched across the country this Thanksgiving week as many Americans just tried to put a meal on the table. But food insecurity isn't just a growing problem in the U.S. during the pandemic. Listen to what the World Food Program's executive director had to say this morning on Face the Nation about the current state of hunger around the world.
I joined the World Food Program a few years ago. The number of people that were marching toward the brink of starvation was about 80 million people. But over the past 3 years, pre-COVID, it spiked up to 135 million. Then you asked the question why, and the primary reason was man-made conflict compounded with climate extremes and fragile governments. But since COVID has come in and truly exacerbated every extenuating circumstance we had around the world, the number's gone from 135 million from 1 year ago to 270 million people marching to the brink of starvation. This is not people going to bed hungry. This is people really struggling to get their next meal.
Humanitarian group World Vision believes hunger will continue to grow throughout the next decade. They say more than 840 million people could go to bed on an empty stomach each night by the year 2030. New tonight, an area nonprofit is trying to reach at-risk kids through the game of golf. Adam Duxter explains the message instructors want to share tonight.
I'm gonna show you the quick 1, 2, 3 setup.
Inside the gym of Madison's East Side Community Center.
Which one you go for?
Nate Sabato is playing coach, one of the many roles he's held in the last several years.
It's golf. It's golf with an education component, and a lot of places don't have that.
Sabato is the director of community outreach for First Tee's South Central Wisconsin chapter. It's in this gym.
Go get your balls, bring them back.
And courses throughout Madison, he works to teach kids the fundamentals of golf and fundamentals of life.
When you look at the game of golf, it's different. It's something new for a lot of the kids that we work with. So bringing the education component in is, for me, is respecting the kids where they're at.
But most of the kids he serves come from single-parent or low-income households. Because of that, are often never exposed to the sport. But at First Tee in Madison,
nice.
They're not just working with Sabato, but former pros like Alyssa Farrell.
You know, everyone knows the NBA and the NFL and even hockey for that matter, the NHL. So I think kids see those types of sports and they forget about golf.
She says while COVID has changed the way the message is delivered in some ways, what doesn't change is watching a kid fall in love with the game.
So watching them giggle and laugh out here and be okay with, if they don't make a good swing or make a putt that they want to, they laugh it off, they encourage each other, and that's what we try and teach them here at the First Tee.
Both instructors say by coming to First Tee, students learn skills like patience, respect, and empathy. But Sabato says it's the relationships with mentors.
Once you hit the ball, it's going that way, right?
That mean the most, both to the kids and him too.
If you care, and the kids see that you care, you'll be back. You're guaranteed to be back because you're going to know that you're making a difference in a young kid's life.
Coming up tomorrow night on News 3 Now at 6, find out how coronavirus has changed everything at First Tee and why instructors like Sabato say their mission is more important than ever. Let's get a look at your first warned weather now. We're getting colder tomorrow.
We are. We are certainly going to see our temperatures drop a little bit, and we're going to have to factor in a wind chill tomorrow afternoon as we look at these wind speeds right now. Still coming in the teens for most of the area. Notice in Platteville, we're seeing wind speeds close to 18 miles per hour. That's, again, sustained wind speeds, wind gusts likely in the mid to upper 20s. We're currently at 32 in Madison, but in the 20s off to the west. Compared to this time yesterday, it is quite a temperature drop for much of the area. And we are expecting colder temperatures overnight and for tomorrow. Right now, we're behind this cold front that brought a lot of rain well to the south and some light showers and rain for southern Illinois and Indiana. But for us, we're going to have a clearing sky as we head into Monday, and we're going to see some cooler temperatures behind